So a lot of people ask, how do you contact people at a company? How do you find the person to contact regarding a job application that you've submitted? So a side note, you want to always research the company before applying, not only to protect yourself from scams, but also to appear as a more relevant candidate, a candidate who cares about the mission of the company, and to be able to see if, hey, this is a place where I'm excited about contributing, I'm excited about working. Even if you're not excited about working there and you're just looking for any job, which is not a great idea, but in any case, you'll want to be familiar with the products, the services, the company mission, how old the company is, all that good stuff before you apply. I'm assuming you've already done all that. You've submitted the application and now you're trying to find someone to follow up with about your application. So how do you do that? The job in question in this case is an internship at Bitly. It looks like a few candidates hear back to this role, so it's doubtful you would want to apply here, but it's even more relevant, this video, if you do decide to apply here. So how would we find somebody who works at Bitly after we've completed this application, especially since the posting is a little bit old, a little bit stale? So I recommend going to LinkedIn. So you probably would, in your research of the company, you would go to their website, and maybe they have in their footer they have their social links. You click through and you come to LinkedIn. Or in my case, what I've done is I just went directly to LinkedIn and did a search for Bitly, and I see that their page has popped up here. So you can just stop at this point if you already have a connection at the company. That's great. You would want to reach out to that person, especially if the person works in the related department. In this case, if we're going back to the job application, it's engineering or the software or the IT department. So it says their front-end engineering team. So you would want to find a person who's related to that, if at all possible. So in my case, the search might stop right here, and I would just send a message to this person saying, hey, I just applied for this internship. I'm super stoked, and I was wondering if there's any course of action that you recommend that I take. What next steps might I take? What parts of the blog or the site or which products would you recommend that I focus my research on for any upcoming interviews? Stuff like that. Questions like that, or an email or a text message, direct message like that is what you'd want to send. Let's pretend this is not here though, and you don't know anyone at the company. What you'd want to do is you would want to continue on, click view page, and see the actual LinkedIn page of the company. So every company that they have their LinkedIn page, not all of them have all of these tabs here that you see. Home, about, product, post, and so on. But a lot of them do, so you would want to avail yourself of that. Click on the people tab, and you can research the folks who are at the company. Now notice it says associated members. So this is not necessarily current employees of Bitly. This is people who used to work there, people who claim to work there but no longer work there, or people who are just fronting and they don't even work there, and they're not verified employees. Now LinkedIn is starting with this verification stuff, so just take that with a grain of salt. And then you'll want to note that you can filter out these 300 400 or so people by location, by their alumni, alma mater, by their department, and so on. Right. So I'm gonna scroll back to the department, right? So let's see, they're probably engineering, right? either engineering or IT. I'll just say engineering, right? And now you see the results are filtered by this one filter, engineering. So then you'll see different people listed in the search results. And you can send them messages if you have premium. Otherwise, you can send them a connect request and add a note. So I'm going to demonstrate that. If you wanted to, you could also filter this a little further. Like, let's say you live in Texas. You could click this. It would add another search filter here beside this engineering one. If you live in Texas, you might have a little bit of an in with someone else who lives in Texas that works at the company. So let's say I don't know anyone at Bitly. I could send a connect request to this gentleman, and then make sure you do this on desktop because you have the ability to add a note here. On mobile, you do not. So you want to put in, again, that similar message. You can say, I just applied to be an intern in your department. I'm super stoked about it. Just wondering what next steps you might recommend I take after submitting my application. We're really grateful for your 5 minutes of your time in this regard. Thank you so much. Keep it short and sweet. And there are other probably better scripts out there than the one I'm just riffing here. Follow-up scripts on the job search or something like that, and you can find some of that phrasing. So what are some other ways besides LinkedIn? Well, there is Twitter. So let's say you have a Twitter or X account. I'm not going to go into that here. I'm not logged in at the moment, but you can always go to Twitter or X. And again, you can use that search functionality and type in Bitly and just see what kind of posts come up. You can then see who's posting a lot about Bitly, who has liked posts about Bitly, who is in their bio, especially, does it say that they work at Bitly? That's a clear signal for you to go and send them a DM if their DMs are open, or to reply to one of their tweets or posts and express your interest. Don't be afraid to do that publicly. A lot of people have that spotlight syndrome, as it's called, where you feel like everybody's scrutinizing whatever you're doing. People don't care. There are millions upon millions of tweets and posts on X every single day. Yours is not that important. So don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Nobody is scrutinizing your every move on Twitter, unless you're a huge account. In that case, you shouldn't have much trouble finding and DMing people on Twitter privately. Okay, so back to some other ways. You can also use a tool called hunter.io. You can have a free account there. You can also pay for more services. You just type in your domain. In this case, it's bit.ly, and you are looking for basically looking for the pattern. You're not really looking for an exact email address. You're looking for the naming convention that Bitly uses. So in this case, it looks like it's the first name at Bitly. This might be outdated as the company increases in size. They have 385 something people, maybe, roughly by the LinkedIn count, if it's accurate. So maybe they're not using this naming convention anymore. Don't send emails to these unrelated addresses. You're only going to irritate people, and you're adding a workload to somebody whose job that it's not. You might hit a nice person who will help you out by forwarding it on. You might hit a burnt out person who will flag your email as spam. You might just go in the trash. So don't do that. Try to hit at least a general inbox like info@bit.ly. That would seem to be a good approach. And you just politely request in a very short email, because this is just a general inbox. Politely request that your message gets forwarded to the correct person in charge of hiring for engineering internships. You can also try to guess, if you cross-reference back to LinkedIn, try to guess what might be the name of the person who is doing the hiring. You can also do other tools. So, for example, I just did a start page search. So you can see here, I use start page to pretty much anonymize Google search results, I believe. And I just did a search here for alternatives to Hunter.io or sites like Hunter.io. So you can find lots of other tools that will help you to find email addresses. So I hope that's been helpful, and let me know in the comments what kind of things worked for you to get your current job, or how did you find a previous job, and what kind of networking tools did you use? What kind of tactics did you employ to speak to a human, a real human? You can see some of my other videos about the importance of speaking to humans in your job search every single day. Make at least one interaction with a real actual human, whether it's at a coffee shop or whether it's stopping by an office building and just talking to the receptionist, or whether it's sending an email or a cold email, or sending a LinkedIn or a Twitter DM, or even an Instagram DM, Pinterest, whatever tools you can use, go at it. And let me know in the comments if anything is working for you or has worked in the past. Thanks so much, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.